Hello and welcome to the latest Wrestle Carnival hype show. And today we are going to be focusing on their next show taking place on the 21st of May from the HMV Empire in Coventry, Clash at the Carnival. And joined as always by my good friend and co-host Andy Moore. Andy, great to have you on board again. How are you doing?
Fantastic to be here again. Fantastic to talk about another awesome show coming up. 9 matches, 2 championships, 8 debuts. There's so much going on this card. It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. And congratulations, you've recently been announced as the chief writer, the head writer of the WrestleCarnival.com. So congratulations, my friend. What does the role entail and what can we expect from you on the WrestleCarnival.com?
I'll be just kind of overseeing the website for news, reviews, performer profiles, live event reporting, and just so much more. We're going to look at some social media in the future and see what comes. We're just excited for Wrestle Carnival to take that next step forward, and we're going to be doing that together.
Absolutely. And as Andrew mentioned at the top of the show, there's 9 matches for us to get into, have a little bit of a chat about, talk about the opponents, the combatants in those 9 matches. A pretty tasty card. And we've said many times before, Wrestle Carnival always delivers when it comes to these big cards featuring talent from all over the UK and, dare I say it, all over the world, certainly in this case. But so it's a very strong card once again from Wrestle Carnival.
Yeah, massively. There's so many exciting things to talk about. Pro Wrestling Noah Stars, the Impact Digital Media Championship, BWR, British Wrestling Revolution's Tag Team Championships are going to be on the line, and first time ever matches as well. And as we mentioned, 8 debuts from so many new up and coming talent from across the country.
Absolutely, a whole ton of debuts. And of course, we are here to talk about this Clash at the Carnival, May the 21st, from the now new home of Wrestle Carnival, the HMV Empire in Coventry. A whole stacked lineup there, of course. Doors open at 3 o'clock, first bell at 4 o'clock, ended around about 7 p.m. But there is a barcode on screen there that will take you straight through to the website to get your tickets today. Tickets available from the WrestleCarnival.com. As we said, from the fantastic HMV Empire in Coventry. What a wonderful venue. I think this will be about their 4th show that Wrestle Carnival have performed in. And like I say, each one just seems to get bigger and better. But let's have a look at the first match that we certainly want to talk about tonight. And it's between 2 of the finest young pro wrestlers in the UK. Certainly not rookies by any stretch of the imagination. Very, very experienced in their own right. Riley Nova going up against Lance Rivera. Now, this is going to be a clash of individuals. I think they've only faced a few times. Lance Rivera, very popular and very successful in other promotions in the north of the country. And Riley Nova doing some fantastic things as well. And I think this is Riley's maybe 3rd appearance now in a Wrestle Carnival ring. The last time we saw Riley, it was in a fantastic match. I think he lost to Nathan Cruz. So both of these two, especially Lance making his debut, is looking to make an impression for sure. But Riley looking to come back from that loss against Nathan Cruz and get a bit of momentum under his belt. And with these two young, very talented UK performers, the win for whomever could actually spur them on to bigger and greater things with Wrestle Carnival.
Yeah, we can't hold Riley Nova's loss to Nathan Cruz against him. The young man did step in very last minute on behalf of his trainer, his coach, Joseph Connors, and he was attacked backstage before the match. Didn't even get to do an introduction. He was just thrown out unceremonially across the into the ring by Nathan Cruz. But he put up a hell of a fight, though. He really did. He had some great spots in that. He is a big young stud. Really, really is. 6'3", the never pale alpha male. He is bred to be better, just as Joseph Connors say. And then, of course, you have Lance Rivera, the Playboy Prince. He will steal your girlfriend, making his debut. And he is a fantastic young athlete. Not too big, again, very big on the size, about 6 foot coming up. So he's another big young man who's got a vicious super kick on him. Likens himself, I guess, to the Shawn Michaels of the UK scene, but very, very talented young man.
Absolutely. And these two have met before, not in a Wrestle Carnival ring, but a few times in tag and multi-man competitions. But this will be their first one-on-one encounter. So a bit of an exclusive, let's say, first time ever match for the Wrestle Carnival audience in Coventry. I think this could be the sleeper match of the night. And these two, I think, are going to put on a hell of a performance, Andrew.
Yeah, so many exciting matches on this card. This is going to be one of them. It is, as you mentioned, it is a battle of two young prospects, and these two are going to be battling it out for a long time in the future. One day main eventing, guarantee that.
Oh, 100%. Not too far off into the future, I'm sure. Then we got this one here. Adam Bolt making his return to a Wrestle Carnival ring against the debutantes. Jack Bandicoot making his debut for Wrestle Carnival in, say, the HMV Empire in Coventry. Adam's fourth match in a Wrestle Carnival ring, but his first one-on-one match, looking to get his first win under his belt in a Carnival ring as well. And obviously, Jack, one half of the very established, very celebrated tag team Crash Boat. And both of these two individuals are having a really fine 2023. Jack Bandicoot, of course, recently making his debut for Progress Wrestling at G Money's Daft Lad Emporium. So they're both on the up, having a fair bit of momentum for one another, both looking to prove themselves and come out with the win.
Yeah, another of two UK's brightest prospects on the scene right now. Jack Bandicoot is one of the most innovative people in the ring I have ever seen. He's done stuff. He is one of these people where he will do something you've probably never seen before. And those type of performers are so rare to come by. And we talked about the lads earlier being two big strapping young lads. Well, these are on the smaller side. These are going to be our cruiserweights, our junior heavyweights. But again, two guys with such big futures, both very agile, both would be high flying. It's going to be a fast paced, incredible action type of match we all love to see.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see this one for sure, especially with, like you say, the high-flying, fast-paced action that those two will almost certainly deliver. What about this one here? This is a bit of a mouth-watering tie, if ever I've seen one. Brady Phillips versus Liam Slater versus the returning Sam Bailey. And we saw Sam at the last show in January, end of January, in a Pure Rules match against Emerson Jane. Brady Phillips has been a regular for Wrestle Carnival from show one. And I think this is Brady's maybe 7th or 8th appearance for Wrestle Carnival.
It'll be his 8th match in a Wrestle Carnival ring, yes.
But Liam Slater, his debut in a Wrestle Carnival ring, so he'll be the one with the most amount to prove, you could say. Of course, both of these, Brady Phillips and Sam Bailey, coming off of losses as well. Brady, after recently losing to Joseph Connors, and Sam Bailey, obviously, as I mentioned, to Emerson Jane in that terrific Pure Rules match. I think you were there in January as well. I remember seeing you in the crowd. But these three very, very established, experienced professional wrestlers, say certainly in the upper echelons of the UK talent. And like I say, this is going to be a very interesting triple threat match in Coventry in only 7 days' time.
Absolutely. Three of the most underrated wrestlers in the UK. I even joked when this match was first announced that is it going to be the first ever Pure Wrestling Rules triple threat match?
Wow.
Because honestly, if there was any three people that could do it, it could be these three guys. Of course, it's not going to be. That would be insane to watch and insane to try and pull off. But, you know, Brady Phillips, he looks like a Greek god. He's a great technical wrestler. He has power as if he was a He-Man. He's not afraid to go to the sky. Sam Bailey has trained more of your favorite wrestlers than you possibly would know. And Liam Slater, again, he's an amazing trainer. He's helped train the likes of Leon Slater and Jack Bandicoot, as well as many more. He's got an excellent pure submission game. He is the modern day prototype wrestler. He is such a great performer. And I say he's underrated. He is actually the undisputed king of the North right now, the North NCL champion. And it's great to see him getting out more promotions. I would love to see him versus Chris Ridgway at some point for the Pure Championship in a Pure Rules match. That would be great.
I don't think this is officially a number one contenders match, but you never know. The winner of this could go on to possibly face Chris Ridgway somewhere down the line. Of course, it'd be my first opportunity of seeing Liam Slater in the flesh in a Wrestle Carnival ring, certainly. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. And like you say, the underrated talent involved in that match, but they really are the upper echelons of UK professional wrestling talent. And I really can't wait for that one. But and I've said this many, many times on the Wrestle Carnival Hype Show, I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling, and this next match is a match I'm really looking forward to. Reese and Rogan, we haven't seen him in the Wrestle Carnival ring since I think it was maybe last January or early 2022, and they had a fantastic match against Pure Beef, going up against Act 2, like say, making their Wrestle Carnival debut. But two very established teams. Act 2 have been on the scene for a couple of years, but really making waves in 2022 and 2023. Reese and Rogan, they're like a couple of wrecking balls, and the dynamics between these two teams is going to be very, very interesting on the day. But do not underestimate Act 2 because they're the smaller of the two teams. They've got a lot of experience and a lot of cunningness on their side. And like I say, I think these two teams are going to wow the audience of the Coventry HMV Empire on the 21st of May. But Reese and Rogan versus Act 2, I'm looking forward to this one, mate.
Oh, me too. I also do love a good tag team match. And Reese and Rogan are a throwback to the Dudley Boys meet the Nasty Boys. They are just pure aggression. They are big, strong, mean. They've been dominating the West. They, of course, won the BWR, the British Wrestling Revolution Tag Team Championships after a tag team tournament, beating some of the best tag teams in the UK on the way. I just absolutely love these guys. I really, really do. Then you've got the other side, Act 2, Benjamin Harlan, Jack Nuts. And now they've really been making a name for themselves in the Midlands and for Wales, including a debut for RevPro UK, I believe, when they were in Southampton against the Greedy Souls.
Absolutely.
Indeed. And they are young and exciting up-and-coming tag team. And there are so many names that I trust, such as the guys from the Greedy Souls, Danny Jones and Brendan White, who have personally told me that Act 2 are one of the hottest young tag teams on the scene right now. So there's a lot going for them. I just think they're going to be outmatched here by the big bad Reese and Rogan. Big Hoss Rogan, Wrecking Ball Reese. There we go. Go on, lads.
Well, I've seen a lot of Act 2, especially in like Sacrifice Pro, when I was a backstage correspondent for them last year in particular. So a lot of Act 2. Saw when they won the Saints of Sacrifice Tag Team Championships. And they're not to be underestimated. They're wily, they're fast, they're cunning. I think they could be a match for Reese and Rogan. Certainly not in the power or the size department. But I think, and I hope Reese and Rogan aren't underestimating them, but that, as we established earlier on, is going to be a fantastic tag team encounter. And I've heard whisperings of a possible Wrestle Carnival tag team title somewhere in the future, so these two teams could be in the shout for that. But really can't wait for that one for sure. Two great teams indeed. What about this one here? You talk about mouth-watering ties. You talk about matches that's worth the price of admission alone, Andrew. And you've got Jack Morris there, fresh from his the last 8 months over in Japan for Noah against Warren Banks, recently returning from a long layoff. His first match back inside a Wrestle Carnival ring since the King of the Carnival Gauntlet match in January 2022. But otherwise considered one of the best professional wrestlers in the UK. Jack, I know, has done a lot of work around the UK Indies, from Scotland, of course, but establishing himself as not just a great UK name, but a great international talent. But this, once again, is another fantastic mouth-watering tie between two of the very best independent wrestlers from the UK and further afield. I'd love to know your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, this is such an exciting matchup. First, it's the first time ever match. And
Wow.
again, we talked about things that you don't see often. You don't see first time ever matches often. And as you mentioned, coming off the back of his second tour of pro wrestling, Noah, back last year, he was one of the first British performers to compete in the Pro Wrestling Noah M1 victory, where he defeated Kaito Kiyoma, who of course would go on to become the GHC heavyweight champion in Pro Wrestling Noah. He's been having an incredible 8 months or so, because during that time he's challenged for the heavyweight GHC Pro Wrestling Noah heavyweight title. He recently challenged for the Pro Wrestling Noah National Championship. He has taken Japan by storm, has become a solid member for the group known as the Good Looking Guys, which, can you blame them? Have you seen Jack Morris?
Well, there you go.
He is a very good looking guy. But Warren Banks, what an athlete. You know, the Nigerian Kaidra, he's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's quickly, he's the current reloaded championship wrestling British heavyweight champion. He was a super strong style 16 finalist for Progress Wrestling.
He was.
And, you know, yeah, he wants to come back to Wrestle Carnival and make a statement. Well, beating Jack Morris is going to make that statement. But on the same wavelength, Jack Morris defeating Warren Banks is going to be a statement in itself. And yeah, two of the best young athletes. This is going to be incredible. I'm just so excited for this match.
Absolutely.
Really
we spoke about a few matches already that got quite high stakes. And this one here between Jack Morris and Warren Banks is no different. And like you say, Warren Banks coming back after a long layoff. He's not been inside a Wrestle Carnival ring for coming up a year and a half, January last year, Andrew. So a lot to prove. He wants to prove himself back inside the Wrestle Carnival ring, and he wants to prove to himself that he can still go against a top tier talent such as Jack Morris. And as we mentioned, making his debut, had a very, very successful couple of tours over in Japan for Noah. That can't be underestimated. Yeah, like I say, this is going to be two of the best independent pro wrestlers going at it in a red hot crowd at the HMV Empire. Yeah, got to get your tickets now. TheWrestleCarnival.com is the place to go. TheWrestleCarnival.com. There should be a link in the description to this show. Click on it now. Go and get your tickets. There are tickets still available. What a match that's going to be. And what about this one here? Harley Hudson making her Wrestle Carnival debut, going up against Ivy, a long-standing roster member of Wrestle Carnival, has had quite a successful run with Wrestle Carnival, with wins under her belt against Tonga and Lana Austin. And the Lana Austin match, I think, was one of the best matches I saw of that year between Ivy and Lana Austin. A fantastic win that she provided us at the Portland Centre in Nottingham all them months ago. But Harley Hudson, one of the hottest young female talents, wrestling talents, period, in the UK, really making waves over the last couple of years. She seems to be performing and putting on great performances and having a lot of success just about everywhere she goes, all around the UK. She's really branching out over the last 12 months. This is going to be stiff competition between these two. That they can both go in the ring. They've both got fantastic characters. They've both got a lot of fire as well, Andrew. I think, you know, this is going to be a battle, and one that we're going to remember after the show's finished on the 21st.
Yeah, I mean, these two are fantastic. They've actually battled down the west coast of this country, and it's been fantastic to see. I've seen these two go at it on a numerous occasion. Harley Hudson, Hudzilla, hot but not bothered, 9 Stoner, Scouse Power, the Scouse Powerhouse. She has got energy for days. She's a personal trainer when she's not wrestling. She is an incredible athlete, and don't underestimate her size. As I say, she is pure relentless power when it needs to be. And both of these girls can scream as loud as you want. Usually it's passion for Harley Hudson, it's complaining for Ivy, but she's a veteran. She knows every trick in the business. She's a powerful young woman. She debuted all the way back at Curtain Call. This is her 6th match at Wrestle Carnival. She's got the experience. She knows the Wrestle Carnival crowd. This is going to be a tough competition for Harley Hudson.
But Harley's got to watch out for that baseball bat. Ivy's pretty fond of that baseball bat. The referee needs to be on his or her toes. What about this one? I'm really intrigued by this one for a number of reasons. The returning Charles Crowley, the former and first ever Wrestle Carnival king of the carnival, Wrestle Carnival champion, the spectacular one. Charles Crowley making his return to a Wrestle Carnival ring against Saxon Huxley, former WWE NXT UK star. And as you can see by the graphic on screen, there's a Noah badge by Saxon's name. And he's had a very successful stint over in Noah himself. But this is going to be a real clash. Saxon, a big kind of like Bruiser Brody type giant, very unpredictable, very wild. And Crowley, like I say, he is making waves, not just in the UK, but all over the world, making recent tours across Europe, Canada, and he's become one of the biggest names in European wrestling, certainly UK wrestling, thanks mostly to his stint at Wrestle Carnival and the tremendous reign that he had whilst he was champion at Wrestle Carnival. Looking to prove or re-establish himself to the Wrestle Carnival fans why he was a champion and why he deserves to be at the top of the card, going up against a beast in Saxon Huxley, especially with that his experience with WWE and Noah under his belt. This is going to be a tremendous encounter, and also 2 tremendous characters of the scene as well.
Yeah, I remember I used to joke with the Tea and Ties podcast that Saxon Huxley was the British Brody Berserker. Because he really, really was. And please don't tell him that.
And he would agree with that.
I was going to say, I'm hoping he doesn't watch this and hear me say that. But yeah, he is. These are 2 wild and crazy guys. And not the sketch from the Saturday Night Live back in the day with Steve Hart. These are just 2 wild and crazy guys. And I literally have no idea what's going to happen in this match. You know, you mentioned it, Huxley, he's gone over to Japan and he's emulated Brody out there. He's been absolutely fantastic, becoming the current GHC heavyweight tag team champion alongside Timothy Thatcher, part of the real faction in Pro Wrestling Noah, along with Hideki Suzuki. He's just having such an incredible run over there, and he's been loving it. There he goes. But Charles Crowley, crafty, he had big wins over people like Axel Tiska, Scott Garland, and just so many. He even defeated Man Like DeReese in a one-on-one championship match. He knows this crowd. The crowd loves Wrestle Carnival, and he's also going to be wanting to send a message to Spike Trevay, who happened to back out of this match against him. But I'm sure that's going to come down the line at some point. But this is going to be just wild and crazy. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually spoken to both of these many times, but Saxon, I think he would take your comparison to the Brody Berserker, or however you phrased it, as a compliment, because he was a huge fan and still is of both of those 2 characters for sure. But I really can't wait for that one. Charles Crowley making his return to a Wrestle Carnival ring and Saxon Huxley making his debut. But let's talk about this one here. Now, this is going to be a fantastic match, another history-making match for Wrestle Carnival, and Joe Hendry coming back to a Wrestle Carnival ring. I think this is his 6th match in a Wrestle Carnival ring, going up against G Money, and the big top contract winner, G Money. I believe he's still carrying that briefcase, looking to cash it in at any time. But Joe Hendry comes carrying kind of hardware, because he's bringing the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship, and it will be on the line at Wrestle Carnival Clash at the Carnival, May the 21st, from the HMV Empire in Coventry. The Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship on the line. This is going to be, like I say, a big time, a big feel wrestling match between two of the best. G Money, regardless of what you think of his character, he can go with absolutely anybody when that bell rings. And Joe Hendry, I think he's already proved himself over many years now that he's one of the best in the business. And the gold is on the line this time, Andrew.
Oh, G Money is no joke. And what we've seen in Wrestle Carnival is he's made it clear that in Wrestle Carnival, he's not here to joke around. He's not here to petition to be in tournaments. He came in here with a statement. He made it. He won the big top contract. He tried to get a championship match back at Charles Crowley's Funhouse. Obviously, man like DeReiss came out on top on that night. He's got that title shot, and it looked like he was going to cash that in at the last show. And yeah, he's a wily character, is Gene Money, and a big bruiser when he wants to be. And that Claymore or less, or the Ainsley Lariat, take your head off. But Joe Hendry, as you said, 6 previous appearances. He is now the Impact Digital Media Champion. The last time he was here, he had a huge win over Joseph Connors at the last anniversary show. And it's going to be a big time matchup. And for this match, if I'm correct, is going to be featured on Impact's YouTube channel.
I believe that's correct. I mean, just Joe Hendry's record in a Wrestle Carnival ring speaks for itself, with wins over Doug Williams, wins over Jay Joshua, Leighton Buzzard, Joe Connors. It's a fantastic. He's only lost one match against Axel Tischer when the WXW World title was on the line. But Gene Money, he has, or certainly at the last show, aligned himself with the new Wrestle Carnival general manager, Isaiah Quinn. So you've got to watch out there. And of course, Isaiah Quinn was walking around with his bodyguard at the last show, Big Jim Diehard. So I think Joe needs to be wary and maybe either bring some back up to the ring himself, or certainly have one eye over his shoulder or eyes in the back of his head, because I don't think G-Money is coming alone. If he is, it should be a fantastic wrestling encounter. But G-Money, yes, like I say, and Isaiah Quinn, they were causing shenanigans at the last show for sure. But how about this for a picture? And that is your current Wrestle Carnival, King of the Carnival, the current Wrestle Carnival champion, man like DeReiss. And at the next show, May the 21st, from the HMV Empire, we're going to see this here. Boisterous Behavior, Leon Slater, and man like DeReiss will be teaming up, going up against CJ Rawlins and George Lydon. And what's interesting about this match is that Leon Slater will be taking on George at the anniversary show at the end of July later on this year. And of course, after CJ Rawlins won the Future X Cup at the last show in January, he earned himself a Wrestle Carnival Championship match against man like DeReiss, and that will be another encounter at the July anniversary show. So this is kind of a bit of a clash between two matches that we haven't seen yet, and a bit of a taster for what's to come. But when you look at the individuals on that poster, and I'm going to bring it up one more time, you've got 4 of the best British independent talents in the UK. In George Lydon, he's been tearing it up wherever he's going. He's had a bit of a successful run in Wrestle Carnival. CJ Rawlins, one of the most innovative, exciting pro wrestlers. He's a 10-year pro, and what a tremendous talent, fantastic attitude. And then, of course, Leon Slater and man like DeReiss, their credentials, their skill level speaks for themselves. But this is going to be an exciting match. The gold isn't on the line, but it does give us a bit of a taster for what's to come. And it's going to give us a tremendous tag team encounter.
I mean, for the Coventry crowd, could there be a better main event? 4 guys who represent the Midlands at its best. And as you say, 4 of the top young talents across the country. I know you say CJ Carter, he's a 10-year vet, but he's still only in his early 20s.
Oh, yeah.
And that's incredible.
It is.
And what a performance in the Future X Cup, picking up the win over 3 of the best young talents in the UK, including George Lydon. These guys know each other in and out. And of course, boisterous behavior. Leon Slater, man like Doris. Leon Slater is just the hottest talent in the UK right now. There is a buzz about him. Everybody wants to see Leon Slater, what he's going to do next, because every time he steps in the ring, it is absolute magic. Alongside his best friend, his tag team partner, man like Doris. I mean, if it wasn't for Man Like Doris, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even know who Leon Slater was. It was his connections that really helped to establish them. They are, of course, as a tag team, 2-time tag team champions, including over at 1PW and North Wrestling NCL. George Lydon, he is the hometown Coventry hero. You hear it every time he enters that HMV Empire. Just exciting, incredible, fantastic. Spectacular.
Spectacular.
It is Wrestle Carnival all over. It's just an incredible card. It is the wrestling variety show. It's not just a tagline. It is exactly what it says on the tin.
Absolutely. And I'm scrolling through the match graphics once again, and we say this every time, Andrew. It's staggering the talent and the combinations, the pairings, and the matches that have been put together for another stacked card at the HMV Empire. So if you haven't already got your tickets, what are you waiting for? We just spoke about 9 incredible matches there, and don't miss your chance. And to the best of my knowledge, under 16s go free. So if you're looking for, a bit of a family day out, if you're wrestling fans, if your kids watch WWE on the TV, then there's no better way to enjoy wrestling than live in the flesh. And at the moment, British independent wrestling is backed to its dizzy heights as far as I'm concerned, and I see a lot of it, so I can speak from experience that British wrestling, UK independent wrestling is at the very best at the moment. It's really firing on all cylinders. And of course, there we go. There is a meet and greet as well with some of the top stars of Wrestle Carnival. You got some on the poster there: Man Like Doris, Harley Hudson, Ivy, and Charles Crowley. Just £5 includes an event poster, and you get to meet the stars of Wrestle Carnival. But including Joe Hendry, I could see there, Leon Slater, and many, many more. Pre-show entry at 3:00. But that's going to be a tremendous opportunity to see some of the stars in the flesh and get your photo taken with some of them on May the 21st, Andrew.
Absolutely. I want my photo taken with some of these guys. It is the variety wrestling show, 9 incredible matches, and I can't wait for this one. I really can't. Clash of the Carnival. It's going to be a clash.
It really is. And then we have alluded to it ever so briefly. We got there the Wrestle Carnival Anniversary Show 2 on the 30th of July back at the HMV Empire. And there's already a little bit of a taste there for some of the matches that have been announced. We will go into those matches at a later date. But you can see some of the matches that we've already alluded to. Man Like Doris versus CJ Rawlings, top left, and 1 or 2 others. But that's going to be a tremendous show. But like I say, at the moment, it's all about this one here. Get your tickets today for these 9 amazing matches. And the HMV Empire, it lends itself perfectly to professional wrestling with the atmosphere, the lighting, the red hot crowd. And I think this is maybe their 3rd or 4th outing now in the HMV Empire. And it's been tremendous every single time, and worth the price for admission. Absolutely. But Andrew, I think we've spoken enough there about what a tremendous show that's going to be. I can't wait to get down there and to see the matches. I'm sure you can't either. But if we want to reach out to you and get in touch with you, what's some of your social media posts, or just to say hi, where can we do so, Andrew?
I would follow me on Twitter at GBOtaku82.
There we go.
There on
and,
the screen somewhere.
You can follow me at Wrestling with Johners on all social media platforms. And like I say, just going over the milestone of 300 episodes of Wrestling with Johners. So very, very proud of that. So follow both of us on social media. Keep following Wrestle Carnival and all their social media platforms. And join us the 21st of May, the HMV Empire from Coventry, thewrestlecarnival.com. thewrestlecarnival.com is where you need to be. And there is a QR code on the screen now. Scan that. It'll take you straight through to the website where you can get your ticket or tickets today. And 9 tremendous matches that we've just highlighted for you there. All of them absolute bangers. And we can't wait to see with our own eyes how they unfold and how the story and the journey of Wrestle Carnival continues ahead of their 2nd anniversary show on the 30th of July. But Andrew, I'll see you in Coventry. See all the fans and listeners and viewers at Coventry. But thank you again, my friend. We'll catch you soon.
Thank you very much.